a very different relationship with food than most people do. So basically, like, we were really poor growing up. I mean, all of my clothes had patches on the knees, and my mom knitted all of our mittens, and we had like strings hanging over our wood stove with like strips of beef drying. I mean, like making our own beef jerky. And like my dad would drive around on the edge of the old farm fields, and we would pick beech nuts and hazelnuts and fill up the back of his pickup truck with, apples, because there were like wild apple trees everywhere all over Maine. And my dad taught us that, things that had actual value were land and, food. Like if you had an apple tree on your property, that was like a resource and it was important, and you shouldn't let it go to waste. So we made use of everything. But that's kind of like where I got it. So everywhere I go, I try to find something to eat that's in my environment. And when I got here, we just happened to find a dumpster that is always overflowing with food.
Close your eyes and imagine where you'll be. You'll want to lost me, so bring it to me. Oh, close your eyes and imagine where you'll be. You'll want to lost me.
You get to a point where you're like trying to save the food, and so I would come home with, I would go out like 3 nights. It just became a problem. So now I go out 1 night a week if I find enough stuff to keep us for the week. That's my night. And if I have to go back the next night, I will. Like if there's nothing, it's pretty rare to find nothing. There have been times when literally against this wall, stacked up about this high from here all the way to there, was boxes of cereal. Basically, my daughter was born like right around the time when I started dumpster diving. So probably most of her molecules originate in the dumpster.
Whole case of fresh mozzarella.
It's $9.21 and 22.
Part of the problem with the modern food system is that people are obsessed with cleanliness and they don't like to touch their food. So just the logistics of food, how it's grown, how it's processed, how it's packaged. Obviously, it's not in their interest to be wasteful. Any like tiniest little loss of efficiency is profit. But just by the nature of the fact that these grapefruits come in a bag, oops, and there was one bad grapefruit in the bag, so they threw out the bag. It's the nature of the beast.
Mira, holla for you.
Oh yeah. Oh.
So everything from breakfast will be from a dumpster?
I think we'll try to make everything with dumpster stuff.
Yeah, this is...
We're gonna make French toast with bananas.
Is it expired?
This doesn't have an expiration date, which is why it probably had to be thrown away.
That's probably why they tossed it. So I think it's ironic, like we've been eating out of a dumpster for like a year and a half, a little over a year and a half now, and I've never, overfull maybe, because that can cause problems too.
How much of your food is coming from the dumpster?
It depends. Usually in any given week it'll be probably 3/4 of the food. Like I'm still buying for the most part, like I'll buy a bag of quinoa, like a 50-pound bag, and that'll last me for like 2 years. So I'll still buy like a few staple things, like lentils, black beans, things like that. But for the most part, all of our fruits and vegetables, and as you can see, we've got a lot, they either come from our garden or from the dumpster. And I mean, it's mostly from the dumpster. I gained like 10 pounds since I started dumpster diving.